Today we're going to take a look at section 8-3, multiplying binomials. Objective: to multiply two binomials or a binomial by a trinomial. Let's take a look at problem 1. Using the distributive property. This problem right here, 2x plus 4 and 3x minus 7. We need to distribute those numbers so we can multiply. How do we do that? We take the 2x from this problem, place it on the outside, and you're going to multiply 2x with the 3x and with the minus 7. So the 3x moves over there along with the minus 7. And then you take 4, put that number on the outside, and you match it up with the 3x again, and the minus 7 over there. So now you're going to use the distributive property to solve this equation. So what does it mean to distribute? That means you're going to multiply this number with both of those inside the problem, inside the parentheses. So when I do that, I'm going to take 2 times 3 and get 6. X times x squared, minus 2 times 7, which is 14, along with the x. Plus, you take the 4 and multiply it with the 3 and get 12x. And then multiply it again with the minus 7, and you get minus 28. What's the next step we do? We want to see if we can have any like terms and add or subtract those terms together. Let's see, we have a negative 14x, and we have a plus 12x. So we combine those two terms, we'll rewrite the 6x squared, and we have negative 14x plus 12x. And what's that answer? That is correct. Minus 2x. Bring down the minus 28. And we have 6x squared minus 2x minus 28. Let's take a look at another problem. This time, we're going to use a FOIL method. What's the FOIL method stand for? What does FOIL stand for? The F stands for first. The O stands for the outer. The I stands for the inner. And the L stands for the last. So now we're going to take this problem right here, 5x minus 3 in the parentheses, and then in the other parentheses we have 2x plus 1. So what do we mean by the first, outer, inner, and last? If we look at 5x, that's the first number. And the first number in this parentheses is 2x. So we're going to multiply those two together and get 5x times 2x. Now we're going to take a look at the outer number. We have 5x on the outer side, and we have 1 on the outside, so that would be the outer. So it's 5x times 1. The next number, we're looking at the inner. Look at the two numbers inside. We have minus 3x. And we have 2x. So we're going to take negative 3 times 2x. And the last numbers would be negative 3 with positive 1. So it's negative 3 times 1. So that's how you would set up this problem using the FOIL method. Take the first, multiply together, plus the outer, multiply, plus the inner, and the last. What's our next step in doing this? We're going to take 5x times 2x, and we're going to get 10x squared. Plus, we're going to take 5x times 1, and get 5x. And then we're going to take the inner, negative 3 times 2, which is a negative 6x. And then the last one is negative 3 times 1, which is a negative 3. We take a look at the numbers that we have. Do we have any like terms? Correct. We have a 5x and a minus 6x. We combine our like terms, and we get for our final answer 10x squared. 5x minus 6x is minus 1x minus 3. But do I really need that 1 there? No, I can rewrite that as 10, excuse me, that one more time. We have 10x squared minus x minus 3. So that is my final answer using the FOIL method. The first, outer, the inner, and the last numbers multiply together. Find my like terms, combine them, and then get my final answer down here at the bottom. 10x squared minus x minus 3. Let's take a look at problem number 5. Multiplying a trinomial and a binomial. Given this equation, we have a trinomial and a binomial. In order to multiply these two, we need to set it up and bring it down, the trinomial on top and the binomial on the bottom. Now we can multiply these two. So just like we usually multiply, we're going to take this negative 7 times everything on top. So negative 7 times negative 5. A negative negative is a positive. So that's plus 35. And then we have negative 7 times x, which is 7x. That's a positive. Oh, sorry. That is what? Not a positive, but a negative. That is correct, because we have the negative 7 down there at the bottom. And then again, negative 7 times 3, which is a negative 21 x squared. Now we want to take the other number, 2, and when we multiply it, we want to line up with the numbers that we already did before in that step. So we're going to take 2x times negative 5, which is negative 10x, and let's line that up underneath the other x. Then we have 2x times x, which is 2x squared. And let's line that up underneath the other x squared. Now we have 2x times 3x squared, which would give us 2 times 3 is 6. Let me rewrite this over here on the side form for you. Okay, now we have more room. So now I'm going to take 2x times 3x squared. 2 times 3 is 6. And then we have x to the first power times x to the second power, which is x to the third power. And let's make that a positive 2x. So let me rewrite that over here. So we have, after multiplying, negative 21 x squared minus 7x plus 35 on top. Then we're going to take this equation and write it down on that side. So we have 6x to the third power plus 2x squared, lining up our like terms. And then we have minus 10x. We have nothing over here. We can just put a 0 there or leave it blank. Put a plus 0. And now I just go ahead and add these two together. 6x cubed. I'll start over on the far end. And it doesn't matter which side I start with. And then I have the x squareds together. So I have a negative 21 plus 2. That would be negative 19. So minus 19x squared. My x squareds are all lined up. Now I have my like term with the x's. I have a negative 7 plus negative 10. That becomes negative 17x. And then 35 plus 0 is 35. Check to see if I have any like terms. Make sure I did it correctly. X to the third power lines up with x to the third power underneath. X squared lines up with the x squared. We have the x's lining up with the x's and the numbers all together. So my final answer would be 6x to the third power minus 19 squared minus 17x plus 35.